CIA head Mike Pompeo got a fluff job interview on MSNBC from Hugh Hewitt. Let's see what he had to say.
Director Pompeo, it's been kind of a bad month for the intelligence community. In the era of Snowden, I shouldn't be surprised, but is our intelligence community product safe? Can it even be safe now?
Well, I certainly can't comment on any of those cases other than what has been released either in the indictment that you referred to or elsewise. But we have an important obligation to perform counterintelligence, that is protecting the secrets that America steals from somebody stealing them back from us. And there have been failures. Failures not only within the last couple years, but failures before that. We need to redouble our efforts. It's tough. You now have not only nation states trying to steal our stuff, but non-state, hostile intelligence services, well-funded, folks like WikiLeaks out there trying to steal American secrets for the sole purpose of undermining the United States and democracy.
This is a 100-year problem. It's
not new.
It's going to get old. It goes back 100 years, but the technology is going to turn it into a constant battle. How are you, as the new director, you were on the House Intel Committee for a number of years before you came over, so you were aware of this. How are you trying to change the culture where people just give stuff away for political vendetta or, in the case of treachery, treason?
In some ways, I do think it's accelerated, Hugh. I think there is a phenomenon, the worship of Edward Snowden and those who steal American secrets for the purpose of self-aggrandizement or money or for whatever their motivation may be, does seem to be on the increase. And so one of the reasons I'm with you today is to talk about what the intelligence community does, what we don't do, the fact that every one of the amazing people who work at the Central Intelligence Agency has a single focus: to protect American citizens. We do foreign intelligence collection, and I think the extent we can help people understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, there'll be a lot less support for these traitors who have done real harm to the men and women of America's armed forces who are out there on freedom's frontier.
That was the most grotesque piece of rank propaganda I've ever seen in my life. MSNBC, lean forward. Lean forward with a conservative talk show host who has -8 listeners, Hugh Hewitt. He's also the most smug motherfucker on the planet. Every time he talks, I can't help but think that he loves the smell of his own farts. The way he talks, everything about him is just, ugh. But notice, so Hugh Hewitt was being tough with CIA head Mike Pompeo there, but how was he being tough? All the questions were to the right of Pompeo. He was like, what are you doing to change the culture of people who like to just give away our secrets? Shouldn't the CIA crack down more on domestic populations that care about exposing the crimes of our government? Ugh, so gross. Okay, so, first of all, he goes, WikiLeaks is undermining the U.S. and democracy. Citation needed, dipshit. What do you mean they're undermining the U.S. and democracy? How? WikiLeaks releases information about our government, which is classified or top secret, but shouldn't be classified or top secret. It exposes the crimes of our government. It gives transparency. Transparency is key to democracy. We get it. Hey, some things are not for the public. You can't be showing everybody the nuclear launch codes. Everybody gets that. Everybody understands that. But they're not doing that. Why are they not doing that? Because they understand that that's something that shouldn't be shown. That's a legitimate state secret. What's not a legitimate state secret is all the stuff that they do release. What do we learn from Chelsea Manning? Oh, hey, look at that. Our military just massacred innocent civilians and journalists and first responders, and then laughed about it afterwards. Yeah, that's something that you guys said, hey, nobody can see this. This is top secret. Because it shows how shitty you are at your job and how embarrassing it is and how you're wasting our tax money to murder people. So you're the one who's the enemy of democracy. You're the one who's the enemy of the Constitution. You're not going to pull the wool over our eyes by saying goofy-ass bullshit propaganda phrases like, freedom's frontier, yes. They're fighting on freedom's frontier. Can I be a more pompous douchebag? No, I cannot. Okay. So slams WikiLeaks, and then he says, you know, the traitors, right, Snowden's a traitor. Snowden is the one who released the information that the NSA is collecting everybody's metadata, spying on everybody. They're just spying on everybody. So that would be Edward Snowden saying, hey, you see this Fourth Amendment protection you have under the Constitution of the United States from unreasonable search and seizure? That no longer exists. The government took it away. The government is acting in an unconstitutional fashion. So he exposes that in accordance with the Constitution, and he gets treated and smeared. He gets treated like shit and smeared like he's doing the opposite. Like he's the one who's betraying the Constitution or something. No, he's upholding the Constitution. They call him a traitor, and then he says, then they go, well, look, that's, they're doing it for self-aggrandizement or money. He hasn't gotten any money from it, so, or wrong about that. And self-aggrandizement, the guy's fucking hiding in Russia. He's hiding to survive so that he doesn't get an unfair trial. Because, by the way, Snowden, if he were to face trial, he wouldn't be able to use as a defense, I did it for the public good to expose the crimes of the government. You're not allowed to use that defense in court. So, self-aggrandizement or money, but that's just not the case. He has to hide away, tucked away, and he didn't get any money. So you're just wrong. He's upholding the Constitution. Chelsea Manning is upholding the Constitution. They're giving transparency. So we actually have a democracy that functions. We can have a debate, a public debate about things we should be debating. But no, Mike Pompeo and the CIA, they want to do everything in secret, and they want to get away with any time they commit a war crime or they fuck up or they do something embarrassing. They want to be able to get away with it completely. So they want us to be an authoritarian state. As they want us to be authoritarian, they act like, it's Edward Snowden's the enemy of democracy. You are the enemy of democracy, you loathsome son of a bitch. And fucking Hugh Hewitt there jacking you off the whole interview and giving you tough questions from your right, he should be ashamed of himself. He's doing the opposite of the job of a journalist. The opposite. He's supposed to hold people in power accountable, not prod them to be less accountable and to be more draconian and more authoritarian and crack down on the people who are really trying to uphold democracy and freedom.